On Sunday afternoon, Arsenal will be taking on 8th placed Brighton in the Emirates Stadium, and we need this win. After coming off a 1-0 loss to Villa in the Premier League, we now sit second in the table behind Liverpool, and we need this win, especially with the fact that Liverpool will be taking on Man United. There's a potential for Liverpool to maybe slip up and afford us a chance. We need to take advantage of this. Brighton is a tough team. They're only 10 points behind us in the league, so it's not going to be easy, but I'm hoping and praying that Arsenal can come through, bounce back after the Villa defeat, and get all 3 points. So in today's video, we'll be previewing the game, discussing the potential lineups, and how I think the game will go. So what's going on, everyone? You're listening to Gunner Central here. I hope you're all doing well. Please be sure to like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get into it. So as I mentioned earlier, Arsenal are coming off a draw and a loss. We lost 1-0 to Villa, which is still making me so upset. The decisions in that game, absolutely crazy. So yeah, we're coming off that loss in the league, and in the Champions League we are coming off a 1-1 draw with PSV away from home, and to be honest, I don't care about that result. We all knew it was a meaningless game. We kind of played a B team for most of it, so I don't really mind. We moved on to the knockouts anyway, so for the PSV game I'm going to completely scrap that. But in our last 5 games we have 3 wins, 1 draw and 1 loss, and like I said, we need to bounce back after that loss against Villa. It's a really unfortunate loss, yes, but we weren't particularly great. We didn't play too well. We didn't probably deserve a win, so we do need to make sure that at home against an 8th placed Brighton who have been playing fairly well this season, we need to make sure that we capitalize and get all 3 points in this. And like I said, there's a huge potential. I am recording this on Saturday morning, but there's a huge potential that Liverpool maybe, just maybe, slip up against Man United and afford us a chance at topping the table again. Right now we currently sit second, and I would love to sit on top of the Premier League table when this match day ends, but for that to happen we have to take advantage of Brighton. We have to make sure that Brighton's dodgy-ish form that has been happening, we take advantage of and we get all 3 points from them. Now, speaking of Brighton, their dodgy-ish form that I just mentioned, it is exactly the same as ours essentially. In the last 5 games, they have 3 wins, 1 loss and 1 draw. That 1 loss was coming to a 10-man Chelsea in a goal fest, losing 3-2, which I suppose might not even be a goal fest, but you get what I'm saying. It was a high-scoring game. Brighton came short in Stamford Bridge, but they replied to that straight away with a 2-1 victory over Brentford, and their last Premier League game was disappointing to say the least. It was a 1-1 draw at home against Burnley, and if you watched that game, you would be quite disappointed in the performance by Brighton. They just couldn't get the second goal. Overall, quite disappointing. So they're going to be wanting to bounce back in the Premier League, the same as us. And right now, they've been doing just as well as I think everyone expected them to do in the beginning of the season. They currently sit 8th in the Premier League table. Like I said, just 10 points behind us. In 16 games in the Premier League, they've won 7, they've drawn 5, and they've lost 4. It's going to be a really tough game. But like I said, I still expect Arsenal to get all 3 points. I mean, Brighton's last 5 Premier League games, they have drawn 2, won 2, and lost 1. Our last 5 Premier League games, we have won 4 and lost once. Honestly, outside of that Villa game, I was really impressed with Arsenal's form going into that Villa game. And yes, we may have faltered now with that Villa defeat and the PSV draw. But like I said, I don't really take the PSV draw into account. And the Villa game, it was tough anyway. We're going to a place where Villa had won 14 straight games, so it was always going to be tough. I do expect us to bounce back against Brighton, put in a really good shift from the first minute to the last, and hopefully, just hopefully, get all 3 points and maybe top the table at the end of the match day. Now on to injuries and suspensions. We will start off with Arsenal. We don't seem too bad on the injury front. Obviously, Thomas Partey is still out, Fabio Vieira is out, Jurrien Timber is out, and now most recently Mohamed Al-Neni is out, which isn't really that big of a blow in my opinion. And as for Brighton's injuries and suspensions, it is quite lengthy. Estupiñán is out, Enciso's out, Ansu Fati's out, Lamptey's out, March is out, and the former Arsenal player Danny Welbeck is also probably going to be out for the game. So as far as injuries go, we may have slightly the better luck, but as we know, Brighton is such a deep team, and players you don't expect to play well end up being the next Caicedo. So, I mean, take that with a pinch of salt. Now, going on to the starting 11 that I would play if I was in charge. In goal, I would play Aaron Ramsdale, but we know that's not going to happen, so I'm going to say David Raya. Obviously, it's very unfortunate with this Ramsdale situation. It was so good seeing him play against PSV. He didn't really have much to do, but it was so cool seeing him get some minutes, especially in the Champions League, being that he was so instrumental for us last season. But yeah, anyway, it's going to be David Raya in goal. goal. I think we all know that, and I think we can all admit that. Left back, I think it's quite obvious. I think actually the whole starting 11 should be quite obvious for everyone. Left back should be Zinchenko, right back Ben White, centre backs would be Saliba and Gabriel. I would absolutely love to play Tomiyasu in this sort of game. Brighton are really good on counters. Brighton's wingers are really deadly, so having a very solid defensive left back like Tomiyasu would be clutch. I would honestly play Tomiyasu at left back with Ben White at right back, but Tomiyasu is probably not going to be fit for this game. Although he's not registered on the injuries and suspensions, he probably won't be fit for this game, but never say never, I suppose. In midfield, I could see a way that Jorginho maybe starts with Declan Rice and Odegaard, but Havertz has been playing so well recently. I've recently made a video about how well Havertz has been playing. Go check that out on my channel if you missed it. But I would have Declan Rice in CDM, Kai Havertz in central midfield, and the captain Martin Odegaard in midfield. I won't mind if Jorginho does start, being that Brighton are really good on the counter, and having a more defensive midfield of Jorginho, Declan Rice and Odegaard may be a little bit better, but I would be very shocked if Jorginho does start. So for me, I think it's quite obvious that it has to be Rice, Havertz and Odegaard. Now for the starting front three, I think this is quite obvious again. I know Reece Nelson has been playing very well, and there's a small section of Arsenal fans wanting Reece Nelson to start on Sunday, and as much as I love watching Reece play and as much as a good player he is, I just don't think you can bench Martinelli for one good performance from Reece Nelson. So for me, the left wing would be Gabriel Martinelli, right wing would be Starboy, Bukayo Saka, and striker obviously would be Gabby Jesus. But yeah guys, that's the video. That's my starting 11. Let me know in the comments below, what starting 11 would you go with for the game, and what are your predictions for the game? Let me know all that in the comments. Be sure to smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next one.